COVID-19 pandemic chronology video / update for today, Sunday, 5 February 2023. My Grandma Rosemary, so my mom's mom, died during the night. She passed away, which is I did an ode to Grandma Rosemary at McDonald's yesterday, so it was very timely. And then 2 nights ago, so not this night, not the night before, but the night before that, so I guess Thursday night, we'll put it that way. My mom was concerned about getting a call during the night that my Grandma Rosemary might die, her mom, and so I asked her if she had a bag packed, and it kind of freaked her out, because she hadn't, like, it was like, do you have food, because she gets hungry, and do you have, like, caffeine or something, and she didn't, so she put some stuff together, and then she passed away during the night tonight, well, not tonight, like this last night, so Saturday night to Sunday morning, and so I didn't know when she was going to go, but I was like, well, there you go. It was during the night, and so my parents are off already. They have 24 hours to get her cremated. I think she's on Medicare. I'm on Medicaid. So there's a cost thing where she needs to be cremated within 24 hours or it costs more. So that's the first update. Second update, I'm going to keep making these COVID-19 pandemic chronology videos. So the COVID-19 pandemic is still here per the World Health Organization. It is also here on a local / regional level still. There's still people wearing masks. There are still closures, be it of storefronts or something else. And when I was out driving yesterday, the buses, so public transit, maybe I should put these videos through a public transit test. Not necessarily, but the buses are not requiring masks, but recommending masks, which is like there's masks required, masks recommended, and then no masks. So we're in the middle of the pack in terms of public transit. And I'm like, so essentially, if I wasn't driving my car around doing stuff, I was taking public transportation, I'd be wearing a mask. So I'm like, maybe I will, because the pandemic is both here globally, but also it's still present in terms of basic operations and protocols for just basic transportation, public transportation. So it's like, all right, I'll keep doing that. So then the third update is I'm going to talk through starting a second attempt of a 14-day pandemic weight regulation plan on the Tanis Diet with PMS modifications. I'll start that tomorrow. Yeah, don't want to not finish again. I think focusing on exercise, so I got 100% on my exercise this last 14-day attempt. The food fell off the last 2 days due to low blood pressure, so being better, and it fell off kind of because I didn't distribute my calories for snacks during the day on one day, and I felt it and couldn't quite rebound from it in a day. So being cognizant of that and keeping my calories distributed throughout the day, right? 1, 2, if it's something that, that I think might derail me, just err on the side of it's only 14 days. The food, even if it was freshly made, it's just 14 days that I'm on the diet. If it comes back around next time, kind of thing. So yeah, I guess, so the blood pressure attacks have not been in dips or spats or spells or kind of things. Haven't been so common since I moved in with my parents in October 2019. Before that, I could get them pretty frequent. Sometimes it would be like twice a week. Sometimes it'd be like once a week or once every 2 weeks or once a month. So it was kind of, I think they kind of became more prevalent in graduate school. And so at that age, so I was in my early to mid 20s, and yeah, my body was still going through changes. Like my facial bone structure was still changing ever so slightly and stuff. So it was just kind of, okay, this is just part of growth and development in my early to mid to even late. Well, not mid-late, but I'm now technically. So I guess like early mid-20s to late mid-20s kind of range. So yeah, yeah, that's kind of the plan, is I'm going to do it. And the low blood pressure is as a forefront problem, not so much of a problem here. It developed in my later teen years and kind of intensified in my early mid-20s to late mid-20s. As for the eating at Red Robin and crumble cookies, so both have problems or have had problems. Most chain, this is kind of related because I came up with a list of sweet and savory eats I want to do, and that kind of helps get me through these pushes, is like okay, what am I going to have once this push is over kind of thing. To kind of mark that the push is over instead of just kind of being like on autopilot, I want to keep losing weight. No, stop. Eat some food and then assess, kind of, or stop, assess if more weight needs to be lost, or during it, assess if more weight needs to be lost, and if it does, still take a break. So Red Robin and crumble cookies both have had, I think, labor law problems in regards to children. Crumble cookies went to court. Red Robin's was settled. How do I feel about that? So I started working when I was 14 years old, and there are labor laws for people who are not adults, so 16 to 18-year-olds. And then as a 14-year-old, we had that's the first initial set of laws, like extra laws. And then when I was 14, the 14, 15-year-olds, we had an additional, like, more laws that applied to us. So people who choose to hire children run that risk. I do not. I'm approximately 30 years old, and I run this as a one-person show. And all my soulmates are older than me, kind of thing. So, and I do not make my content for kids. There's a bit of, as someone who has worked as a 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old, 17-year-old, and know there are different laws, I don't choose to do that because it gets very messy and there's a whole lot more laws that need to be taken into account. I think it can be messy, and I think it's good for them for hiring those people who are in middle school or high school and need the job, be it to save money for college, just to have a basic car, whatever the reason is. There's bravery in hiring teenagers, especially since there's a whole lot more laws. And so both companies have had problems with the children angle. And I'm like, well, yeah, there's extra laws, especially with teenagers. Not all teenagers. I was a teenager myself, but teenagers tend to be kind of susceptible to trends. So if the trend is spite the company one's working for, right? It doesn't mean just because there's a bunch of kids in a lawsuit and the lawsuit favors them, right? It doesn't mean they're like, it doesn't mean they're destined for heaven or hell, right? Like, I've worked with some people that I was like, well, if there was a labor rights violation here, it might be the kid, right? Kind of thing. And there wasn't, right? But there are people who are like, who do intentionally lie about times on their time cards. And I had really good supervisors who would correct that, or be like, all right, everybody, this is how we're taking our times, that stuff like that. So it relies on good supervisors, but if it's a super new trend on the teenage workers, the supervisors might not catch it, and it might be some hole in some set of laws that only apply to the children workers. Right? So I'd say there's a bit of, I'm not going to condemn people for that. And I age restrict my own videos on YouTube. And I've had a couple of my videos age restricted by YouTube. So there's a bit of, lenience there. The kids are growing, the laws protecting the kids are growing, and when one's working in an ever-changing environment, or employs people in that ever-changing environment, is kind of I don't know if there's bad problems to have and good problems to have. I'd almost say like, especially if it's like, well, like pay issues. So like, I don't know. Depending, I mean, that's a food chain. I think in Washington State, there's kind of always been problems around like, not, yeah, about like wages by wait staff and stuff. So I don't, in the food industry, there's kind of a, at least in my lifetime, that's kind of almost a norm. So I would say if a company's going to have problems, it's not actually necessarily a bad problem to have. I guess is how I'd phrase it. And so Red Robin, which is originated from Seattle, my hometown, and then Crumble Cookies, which originated from Utah. I don't know where in Utah. So I don't condemn the companies for that. That's just. I applaud them in some ways, or they chose a path that I choose not, the kids thing. So, happy Sunday, February 2023, as of filming this in city of Shoreline, Washington State, United States of America. And so long as I don't die during the night like my Grandma Rosemary just did, I'll see you tomorrow. And I have a sweet and savory, I have a couple videos planned for today, if I make it.